What's going on, everyone? It's Marcellus back with another video. We got to talk about Loon Classic. We're just going to do a short little technical analysis. So yeah, definitely hit that like button and subscribe. If you haven't yet, leave a comment in the comment section. Go ahead and subscribe to my other channel. I'm going to be posting a lot of stuff on there as well. But yeah, remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. Let's get straight to it. So right now, as you can see with Luna Classic, we are bouncing off this support way down here. And this support is down at the 28351 area. Right now we're at 28917, and we're actually closing in on this high activity area right here. So these high activity areas, it pretty much shows high activity for institutional investors and dark pools. And this is actually a good thing because it could be high buying or high selling activity. But I actually think it's probably going to end up being high buying activity here because, as you can see, we did bounce off this support here, but we haven't yet got back up here to retest this resistance. So usually we do retest at resistance levels like this. So I think when we hit this high activity area, which is actually at the 288 area, we're at 289. I think when we hit 288, then we could be rising back up here to this resistance at 29673. But the thing is, when we get up there, and that's a if we get up there, not a win, but if we get up there, we might get rejected because, as you can see here, moderate activity and then low activity, meaning once we get to the top side of this less demand area for our supply and demand, we're more than likely going to pull down because there's low activity for institutional investors and dark pools. So if there's low activity for whales here, then that's probably going to mean that we're actually going to go down when we get to this level. And even if we were to break past this level and get up to here, it's still the same thing at 30393. And then again, right here at this low activity area at 3114. So we have low activity here for Luna Classic for the large whales, which is definitely going to be hard to get past that. So like I said, we should be rising all the way up here to the resistance and pulling back. But notice how there's high activity here, and then there's high activity right down here. So the second one is the one that we really want to focus on because yeah, this one might have us, temporarily rise back up here, maybe, but ultimately we still want to look at this support as a viable option. So this support down here is at 283, and then down here we have 281. So I think 283 to 281 will be a good area for us, especially because we have high activity. Notice how the second we hit that high activity area back here in Lunar Classic, we actually started to pump. So I think the same thing could happen when we hit it like here, but it probably won't pump as much. It'll probably end up stopping midway around here and then going back down. So don't just think it's just going to hit that support area and then it start going crazy. It could definitely go down, especially with the path that a lot of cryptos are going. If you actually look at the whole overall crypto market, everything has been selling off. Everything has been going down recently. And there's been a lot of talks about a bearish crypto market coming in. And we just been sustaining these levels of 19K Bitcoin for so long that eventually we're going to have to drop down if we're not going to pump. Like if we're not going up, we got to go down. And it'll be best if we go down because we can build up more momentum if we go down in the whole overall crypto market. That's why I'm looking more so towards all these supports down here because then we can build up some more momentum. So 273, after we break this support up here, and that is a pretty big area of support here. But after we break that 2A area, 273 should be coming next. So after we go below this, I'm really looking for this 273 area. Shows we have more demand here. That's what the green area is showing us. So we have more demand when we go down there. So that's not the only thing we want to look at. Remember, this is just the 5-minute chart. This is the 15-minute chart. And the 15-minute chart is showing us coming off of an overbought area. And it's also showing that there's selling coming up. That's why you see a red wave forming down here. So there is selling. And notice how we hit this little support down here, right? We hit this 283 area, but then we immediately went back up. And now we're getting kind of rejected at 2914. So even if we do try to come back up here and rise, like I mentioned it before, there's always that possibility that we continue to pull back down and can't build enough momentum to break past this area here. It's going to be really hard to get past 296. So I think we could hit this area and still get rejected and go back down to 286. And then you can actually see there is moderate activity right here. And that's why I'm talking about this support down here. Because once you get down here, you're going to have a little bit more demand for Luna Classic. But anyways, this is also only the 15-minute chart. You also got to think about the 4-hour chart. But before we even look at the 4-hour chart, I want you to look at these other support lines down here. So that's why I'm really looking towards the downside here. We did have a nice temporary pump, but remember, that's when CZ Binance announced that there was going to be a burn, but they were going to wait until the 3rd of October. And then at the end of every single week or the beginning, something like that, they're going to start doing the burns. So that is definitely something that's probably going to end up happening soon. But anyways, also on top of that, look at what could happen over here. 2-4, that's another support. Then down here, we have 2-1-6. That's another support. And then we have, again, 188, and then down here 179. So we have a lot of different support areas to go towards, but ultimately I still believe a bearish trajectory, a bearish path here for the whole overall crypto market is probably going to end up happening. But let's look over here for the 4 hour chart, because the 4 hour chart kind of shows you a more realistic support. A lot of people don't like it whenever I talk about, a bearish path for the overall crypto market. Even Luna Classic. Look, Luna Classic had a nice run up and it had a nice little pump. But the overall crypto market is still bearish. So unless we're getting massive pressure from the media coming in on Luna Classic, like how we had it before, massive pressure from people talking about it, hyping it up, then it's going to go back down with the rest of the crypto market. So the rest of the crypto market is going down. So if it's going down, Luna Classic is going down. Only way Luna Classic is going up is if we keep having stuff like Coinbase list Luna Classic trending on Twitter, or Binance burn, or just burn Luna Classic trending on Twitter. If we keep getting these burns, we can stay above the whole overall market, which is why you see Luna Classic do this bullish run while everything else has been going down. So if we can keep getting Coinbase to talk about us listing on there, then we can definitely continue to pump. But as of now, we're going to be bearish. And if we don't get a Coinbase listing, or if we don't get some kind of hyping leading up to the Coinbase listing, then like I said, I'm still looking down here for Luna Classic and for everything else to go down as well. We have heavy support down here. I think that this whole area down here, all the way from about 1.6 all the way down here to adding onto a 0 and again going to a 7, so 4Z7. I know a lot of people are probably looking at this like, what, you think it could go all the way down there? But I mean, I kind of been calling this since it was all the way up here at the pump. So if you watch my previous videos, I'm always kind of looking at this. I'm like, yeah, there's always the possibility to pump. Don't get me wrong. Because look, if we pump inside of Luna Classic, we're going to go up here. And if we can actually get past 3.9, there's a high activity expected here. That means high activity for institutional investors. So if we get to 3.9, that means the institutional investors, the large whales, they are going to pump Luna Classic all the way up until this area here, 5.9, before they sell out. So if we do go up to here, that means that the whales will pump it right at this area and then go all the way up to there. But that's why I say there's always the possibility to become bullish, because the only way that this will happen is if Coinbase will list Luna Classic. And then that's when you will see this getting all the way up to the high activity area. And then that's when you'll see the whales pumping it even further up to 5.9. But for right now, since we don't have that, we have to look at the downside pretty much, since we don't have that happening. Which is the same thing with the burn. We weren't getting the burn, so we're like, look, it's going to be bearish until we get that burn. It's going to be bearish until Binance confirms it. What happened? We were bearish all the way up into the point that CZ Binance confirmed that we were actually doing the burn. And then boom, we start the pump and we start the pump. It kind of looks like a stair step. So like I said, there's always the possibility of it becoming bearish or bullish. Like let's say it just does this and another stair step. If it does another stair step up here to this high activity area and it doesn't pull back down like it did these 2 times here, then what we could expect from here is that pump to 5.9. So that's why I'm mentioning this. But if we do this stair step and then we just stop kind of here, back down at the 2.8 support, then what you will see is Luna Classic going all the way back down to that 1.7 area that we were talking about. So hopefully we can continue to become bearish, or I mean bullish, not bearish. But hey, anything could happen at this point. But like I said, this is the 4 hour chart. It is showing you a long-term point of view from Luna Classic, pretty much saying, look, if we don't get some good news now, then we will see Luna Classic slowly but surely go down to 4Z7, which is 4 zeros and a 7. But remember, that's if we don't get good news, if we don't get the hype, if we don't get hashtag list Luna Classic on Coinbase and all that good stuff, then we could see a pullback like this. So if we can get all this good news, we won't see this bearish movement for Luna Classic. So there's always that possibility of us rising. And we also cannot forget about the burns that we're getting. So remember, on the 3rd, they announced the burn. They're going to announce another one soon. So maybe leading up to every burn, maybe we start pumping or something like that. I don't know. But, it has been moving slow with the burns. So a lot of people are kind of disappointed about that. So that's why I'm making this video, to let people know, like, look, it could always become bullish. But most likely right now, we are still looking at a bearish path right here. Even though you do see that it did pump huge right here, pulled it back down to that support, and then pumped again, but didn't go lower than what it did before, which could mean that we could pump a little bit higher, but not go lower than we did before, and then have another higher pump. Yes, it could happen like that. But remember, that is pure like hopium. That's pure just hope, just hoping that it just goes all the way up. Now, one thing I will mention here for Luna Classic, though, that I do like seeing is on the oscillator. On the oscillator, you can actually notice that there's a lot of selling here. So you see that this huge wave of selling, but look at how it kind of stopped. And now it's kind of going sideways here. So the buying hasn't flowed in yet, but the selling hasn't necessarily stopped either. So that is definitely something that you want to look at. Selling has slowed down, hasn't completely stopped. Buying has came in just a little bit, but hasn't completely overtaken yet. We're kind of waiting for that confirmation because all this red on the downside is all selling. But look at how it goes right back up to here. And now it's just like hovering right at the bottom of the selling area, almost like it's waiting to get a pump in. And that's why I like this high activity area, because this high activity could quite possibly be high buying activity. That's why I said there's always a possibility. And that's around 276. So if we can hit that area, have high buying, then yes, we can get back up there and we can have a bullish run here for Luna Classic. But hey, this is all I got for you all today. Let me know what you all think about this. Let me know if you think Luna Classic is going to become bullish or if Luna Classic is going to become bearish. But yeah, definitely hit that like button and subscribe. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this financial advice. Leave a comment in the comment section and go ahead and follow my other channel. Link in the description. And as always, I'll be back with another video.